Hey everybody, welcome back to Readers That Write. Today we have another book review of one of my probably favorite books in the Warhammer universe, Horus Rising. It is book one in the Horus Heresy series, and it is fantastic. It's by one of my favorite authors of all time, Dan Abnett, and we're going to dive into this and talk a little bit about it and why you should read it. This is one of the 4 books that is recommended for new people in Warhammer 40k. Last time we did a book review, we covered one of the other ones, Gaunt's Ghosts. These tend to be my 2 favorites to start people with. I tend to lean a little bit more to Gaunt's Ghosts because Horus Rising does delve further into the lore. Honestly, for me, I would read Gaunt's Ghosts and then the Horus Heresy. That's the way I wish I would have done it. I didn't do it that way. And I kind of regret it. There was a lot of books I read that I think I didn't enjoy as much because I didn't understand the lore behind it. And that includes the Ultramarine series and several others that were good books, but now that I'm about halfway through the Horus Heresy series, I've realized that there was a good chunk of that the trilogy, the Ultramarine trilogy, that went over my head because I didn't understand who Guilliman was and what that really meant. And what a Primarch was. And that's the entire focus of the Horus Heresy. The Horus Heresy is the story of the 18 Primarchs and their journey to either side with the Emperor, their father, or side against him. It's a long, twisted journey that has a lot of books in the series. The good news is you do not have to read all of them. I would recommend it. They're all fantastic. And you don't need to read them back to back to back. I also don't recommend that. It can burn you out. It is very intense and very fast-paced, even though it covers several hundred years. And it's okay to be a little intimidated by the Horus Heresy series. I was, still am, actually, even though I'm at the halfway point. It's okay to be overwhelmed by the sheer amount of books in the Horus Heresy series. That is okay. You do not have to read all of them. I would recommend it. The lore in every single one of them is fantastic. There are a few that are worth skipping, but I'm not going to go over that in this video. But by reading this, you will get the entire background for what is going on in Warhammer 40k. The nice part with Gaunt's Ghosts is you don't need it. For everything else, you don't need it, but kind of like Brandon Sanderson's Cosmere, the more you know, the more you'll catch. The more you catch, the more you will enjoy the story. Which is why I absolutely recommend this as the second book. After you finish the Gaunt's Ghost series, this would be my next step, is the Horus Heresy. So let's dive into the actual novel and talk about the first book in this series and why it is so good. So, Horus Rising is initially a story about the Primarch Horus and his legion, the Luna Wolves, who are fantastic. They have some of the most interesting characters that I've seen in 40k novels, between Horus, who is very likable and very charismatic and kind to his warriors. It's very much a loving father-son relationship with all of these Space Marines. He cares deeply about them and strives to take care of them whenever possible. And it is a fantastic story that way. It's a relationship that a lot of military officers strive for. And you get to see that in the first half of this book, where Horus is a great commander. Is highly revered, is one of the most respected people in the Imperium, and all of this is setting the stage for what's to come. The main focus of this book is to help you understand what's going on in the 30th millennium and the 31st millennium so that you can understand the foundations for everything. And it allows you to see how a Space Marine Legion is supposed to function, what their missions are, what kind of things they do to further the Emperor's mission, and all of the base structure that you'll need to understand for 30K and 40K beyond. And it does an excellent job of demonstrating this. You get to meet some of my favorite characters in all the Heresy so far. Gavio Loken, who's one of the Mournival, or the Supreme Commanders of the Luna Wolves. You see Abaddon, who's another one of the Mournival. And you get to see all of these characters. But the story opens when one of the Mournival, the 4 senior officers who serve as a command council for Horus, and friends and advisors, it's far more than just a standard command council. He is killed on a mission. Sejanus is his name. And you see Horus's genuine reaction to it. A lot of times when you read science fiction, a lot of commanders are very shaken, or are very unflappable about the loss of life. And especially on a scale like Warhammer 40K, where there are trillions of people thrown into a fight at any given time throughout the galaxy. It's unfathomable to try and imagine both the scale and the individual person, which is something Warhammer 40K books sometimes struggle with. This does not. It does a very good job. Honestly, I think this is something Dan does a very good job of, is honing in on individual characters, giving us POVs and focus points so that we can find relatability. And we see this especially with Gavio Loken, and Horus from time to time as well. He's one of the Primarchs that you get to know the best over these first several books. And that's really the whole point of the story, is to introduce you to the key characters like Horus and Abaddon and Gavio Loken and a few of the other Primarchs. And that helps you have that foundation to move forward. One of the big themes you see in this story that I really enjoy as well is the amount of, or the ability of good people to fall. And that seems to be one of the big pushes in the story, is for you to see Horus as a very good person. And he genuinely is. Of his brothers, the Primarchs, he is one of the better ones in the first book. It's not really a big spoiler to say he goes downhill from there, but in this story, you will like Horus. Even though you're going into it with the very title on top that says the Horus Heresy, you will like Horus. I have never met anyone who's read this book and not liked Horus. And that makes everything that comes after it so much more impactful. It is a mastercraft of writing, and you get to see the level of world building that Warhammer 40K and Games Workshop has started, along with all of the authors in the Black Library, to give us these cool in-depth stories. We get to meet some new Xenos races. We get to see the beginnings of doubt and confusion creeping in, creating some very interesting situations that our main characters have to deal with. And it's something that is very both deep and intriguing in compared to a lot of military science fiction. It's even more intriguing when you realize that almost none of those characters are true human. A lot of them are post-human. They're space marines who've been genetically and biologically and medically altered to be superhuman, and their dad, who is superhuman to them. The Primarchs are insanely adapted and beyond their level of understanding. You also get to see the introduction of the warp and that base information that you need to understand it, and it introduces it and kind of spoon feeds it to you over this book and a few others, so that you can begin to understand what the warp is. You can also begin to understand how it can corrupt, which is fantastically done. For me, My favorite moments in this are the character moments. Um, I've talked about them a few times already, but you get to see genuine emotion and genuine connection with the Space Marines, the Primarchs, some of the ship's crew, and the people that are involved. And it is a unique thing to a lot of 40K. A lot of these stories, you don't really get too attached to them. That's something that the Horus Heresy series has that a lot of other stories don't. Gonskos has this as well, where you can actually attach to a character and like them. A lot of them will die. That's just 40K. But it's not insert random Space Marine name here stories. Like a lot of the Space Marine stories can feel like sometimes, especially some of the short stories, where you could basically ignore the Space Marine's name and understand the story still. But this level of character depth in a Warhammer 40K story is something Warhammer, the Black Library, doesn't get credit for often enough. There's a lot of references to it being just the term is not something I can use on YouTube, so we're not going to actually use it. But it's something for someone who loves action. It's very action heavy and pushes a lot of the gunfights and sword fights and things like that into the story. And despite this actually being pretty short for a Warhammer 40K novel, this print version is 412 pages, which for most Warhammer 40K novels in a actual print, it's actually pretty short, especially where this is trade paperback, so it's a lot smaller than a normal novel. For reference, this is the next book we're covering. This is full size. This is what's called a trade paperback. This usually results in about 25% more pages. So being 412 pages means it's pretty short. It's akin to a lot of the earlier science fiction that was about that. Well, most of them came in trade paperback. So if you can read through an Asimov novel or something like that, you'll do fine with Horus Heresy. But with all that said, this is something that I actually absolutely recommend. It's one of my favorite 40K novels, like I've said, and it is a great starting place. If you want to commit to the Horus Heresy outright, start here. It will pull you in. Especially the first, I can't remember if it's 4 or 5 novels that are all from the Luna Wolves' perspective. You get dragged along with those. And those are the bulk of how the heresy starts. They are fantastic books, and they do suck you in. After that point, it breaks off into different points of view throughout the galaxy, and that's when I would recommend taking breaks. A lot of times what I'll do with Horus Heresy novels is I'll do a heresy novel and then another novel that's not Warhammer to kind of give me a little bit of a palate cleanser. Currently, I'm actually just starting the new Galaxy's Edge book that came out recently. And before that, before I finished Chthonia's Reckoning, or before I started Chthonia's Reckoning, I also did a new Craig Allenson novel to work into the palate cleanser for me. And that's definitely how I would recommend reading Horus Heresy. They are very good. They are very fast-paced, and they are very intense. And doing too many of them can give you a little bit of reader burnout, at least it does me, which is why I recommend mixing them in there. The nice part is they're also pretty regularly pretty much standalone, where it's one book covers one point of view from one location. Sometimes you'll have 2 books. You'll know pretty fast which ones are which. The names will be paired, and they will be about one specific Space Marine Legion. For example, the Raven Guard have 2 consecutive books. But by doing that and breaking this series up, it is a lot more manageable. And when you realize you don't have to read them all at once, it's a fun filler for me. I like to try and read novels when they come out. There's also periods of time where there'll be 2+ months where I don't have a new novel to read, or I burn through a novel faster than I thought I would. So having the Horus Heresy that I can go back to is fantastic. It gives me something to read constantly. I don't have to hem and haw about what new book I'm going to try on Audible and risk a credit, or which book I want to pick up at the bookstore. I just queue up the next Horus Heresy. I do like to do these in audiobook as well. The narrators are fantastic, and they're fun to listen to while I'm commuting or at work. So, in final, this book is fantastic. Make sure you check out Horus Rising if you're interested in Warhammer 40k novels at all. It is a great start point to introduce yourself to the deeper lore. And if you guys have a favorite quote or moment from this story, if you've already read it, let me know in the comments below. Please, no spoilers, if possible. But I would love to see some of your favorite moments and quotes. And don't forget to like and subscribe. If you enjoyed this video, I have a lot more coming. A lot of my book reviews right now will be Horus Heresy focused. I'll probably sneak in a few other non-Warhammer books as well. There's a lot of really cool ones coming out over the next 6 to 8 months that would be fun to review. So, I will see you guys next time.